Bro, I found a video that interests me. So let's just what's up, yeah, yeah, doing welcome back. Yeah, let's get to it.
I'm surprised that we're on a podcast together.
Is that Michael Porter Jr.? It looked like
But
it.
I actually came across one of your podcasts that you used to do because I was messing with one of your.
Yo, that's really Lana fucking Rhodes. The bitch with the heart tattoos on her butt cheeks. The girl, my God, I just remember one of her scenes. Like it wasn't oral sex or vaginal sex. It was anal sex. The guy finished and you know busted in it, and then she pooped out the cum. The nigga caught it in the thing, and she
Friends, and she sent me the podcast, and you were talking about just the dark sides of the adult film
I lost
industry
my
and
appetite.
the industry, which you used to be a part of, and it really just I was really interested and honestly like inspired by your story. So that's kind of why I want to have you on, and I appreciate you being vulnerable and coming on the podcast.
If you're unfamiliar with her, she's an ultra instinct adult entertainer, right? This is not someone
Oh yes, she is. She definitely
who
is.
made a mistake, fly by night, got one video up there. She has uncountable, unfathomable amount of scenes doing questionable, extremely questionable, barely legal things, right? So
I agree.
so her words and talking about what this is, I think it would be particularly interesting. But let's investigate.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet.
Yeah, not for sure. So let's start off just with your childhood. I feel like a lot of people who end up in the sex industry at all kind of have an unorthodox kind of upbringing. Was yours a usual upbringing, or how'd that go growing up?
So there's a lot of things that I've come to terms with recently that I didn't even realize were wrong in my childhood.
Yeah.
Like the past year, I've started going to therapy and I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder.
Borderline personality disorder is
Alright, from the way MPJ is acting, I don't think this is gonna be a real genuine question when he's gonna question some of her actions and like try to take accountable for it. He seems like he already seems uncomfortable by his body language. He don't seem like he's making eye contact. He's fucking slouched with his hands in his vest. People say when people are curled up as in a defensive position. I'm not that good at reading body language, but he just looks uncomfortable. And Lana, she looks like she's ready, legs crossed, back straight, chin up, like she. Well,
characterized by marked instability in functioning, affect, mood, interpersonal relationships, and at time reality testing. BPD is associated with significant morbidity due to common comorbid conditions, including dysthymia, major depression, psychoactive substance abuse, and psychotic disorders. Borderline personality disorder, signs and symptoms.
I hate how people, I wonder if she has really been diagnosed with it or if she just saying it because we really have no proof. A lot of people blame a lot of shit that now on mental disorder, and I fucking hate that shit. Oh, your son is a rapist? Go see a therapist. And then the therapist would tell him, okay, well, how did you feel when you did that? Maybe it was because you're like, no, nigga, not everything needs to be justified or cuddled, bro. Like, not, no. Somebody's somebody could just be a rapist, bro. Like, somebody could just be born and want to grape bitches. Like, there's nothing that has to go back. And the people that does have shit go back, most of the time there's nothing wrong with them. Like, let's stop saying something is wrong with these people mentally. They knew what they were doing. Maybe to us it looks different and out of pocket, but they knew what they were doing. So does that really mean mental instabilization? It just means they have a fucked up moral code or a non-existent one. But let's stop saying that every single thing is a diagnose is a diagnosis. Like everybody got something. Some people just fucking do porn because they want to fucking do porn and make the money of it. And then they don't regret it until, unfortunately, what happens to their lives afterwards, and then they see the bullshit, but it's too late to cover up. Like, come on. I will never forget that scene that I just mentioned of her pooping out you know, I would never forget Two Girls, One Cup. I would never forget fucking Blue Waffle. There's just certain shit some people can never fucking unsee. And you will, especially in the internet, I can always I could find again another Two Girls, One Cup, which I would never fucking do. Disgusting bitches, bro. Ugh. Fucking gross. If you did not see Two Girls One Cup, do not fucking watch it. I'm telling you now. There's a lot of shit that don't fuck with me. I have a tough stomach that don't scar me, but do not fucking watch that video. Please, please don't let curiosity kill the cat. I regret watching J. Cole's apology video. Please, my niggas, don't do it.
Features that typically begin in
And those who do know, I'm sorry, you're not alone. You're not alone. I promise you, you're not alone. I don't know. I don't know why they did it. I'm sorry. It's just like that South Park movie where they raped Indiana Jones. I feel you. I'm here with you, bro. I'm here. We're here. We're together. You're not alone.
adolescence or young adulthood impatience include the following: disturbances experiencing oneself as unique, poor boundaries between self and others, and poor emotion regulation, and the inability to soothe themselves adequately, resulting in excess emotional reactions to stresses and frustrations, maladaptive attempts at self-soothing, threats, self-harm, and angry behavior, an unstable sense of self with poor ability for self-direction and impaired ability to pursue meaningful short-term goals with satisfaction. I mean, it sounds like right here you're writing a job description to be a corn actress. Marked instability in functioning, affect, mood, interpersonal relationships, and at times reality testing. I guess that means association with things in reality, or your ability to fixate yourself to unrealistic standards and expectations. A pattern of impulsivity, risk-taking, and poor self-image. I would imagine that if you take the top female corn stars and place them in a little room and have them tested for this, the majority of them would come out with something similar to what we're seeing right here. It's crazy to think that you have an industry with an employee base that has personality disorders more often than not.
And I've been through so many things that I was like, oh, maybe this caused it or this caused it.
Yeah.
And the one thing that really, I feel like if you don't have borderline BPD, you won't understand the feeling. Mm-hmm. But basically to figure it out, I had to go back and think, when was the first time that I had this feeling that no one loves me, and just overwhelming emotions to the point where it feels like you have to hurt yourself in some way. And so that was, came from just when you're a young child and you're developing your attachment to parents or emotional regulation skills. If people invalidate you, say you're crying and your parents yell at you to make you stop, or they hit you,
My bad.
and I'm talking
I know I'm
2,
covering
3 years
MTR.
old, obviously you should never hit your kids. I'm talking 2, 3 years old, obviously you shouldn't. You say you're crying and your parents yell at you to make you stop, or they hit you, and I'm talking 2, 3 years old, obviously you shouldn't be.
I don't. Who really remembers what the fuck happened at the ages of 2 and 3? I sure fucking don't. Do y'all? It's very rare that somebody remembers that far, and that she remembers. If a pet, because that's too specific. You know it down to the words and everything at the age of 2. That doesn't make sense to me. I've gotten beaten as a fucking child. It's called discipline. Now I'm talking about you can't. I'm beating my kids and my kids act crazy. It's not gonna be what I resort to. But if it gets to the point where I need to beat their ass, I'm gonna beat their ass. Because some kids don't listen unless you beat that ass. That doesn't mean your parents hate you. And if you felt that way, did you ever talk to your parents once you got older? How does this make you get into porn? A lot of kids, especially when you were growing up, because I'm pretty, she looked like she probably around my age, 30. I just turned 30, so she probably in her 30s, close to 30s, mid 30s, early 40s. She could be around that age. You feel me? So you should know that all of this is every kid back then was getting whoopings, and the ones that didn't turn out on some fucked up shit. So I don't believe that shit. If you really feel like that's the order, why did you never address that issue with your parents?
You should never hit your kids.
I disagree with that. Some things are hittable offenses. If you tell your kid 20 fucking times, hey, And like let's say my kid grabs a plate. I'm like, yeah, hey, don't do that. That's dangerous. Don't break that. Okay, it's a bad thing to do. Like, so please be careful. Looks at me in my face, grabs it and smash it again. Hey, stop! I told you not to do that, didn't I? Now go to timeout. Looks at me in my face, grabs another one. I'm like, hey, smashes it again. I'm beating that nigga ass because now you know what the fuck you did wrong. I'm telling you not to do it. That shows you don't respect me. You don't afraid me. You don't show me the authority of a parent. I'm beating my son, like or my child. I'm giving them a spanking. Let me not say beating like I'm black. They getting their ass spanked. Like what?
And it can cause that. And I just had no idea. Like, I actually thought that everyone's parents
And see, she didn't believe that she had it until she was told that she had it. Not every
hit them. And like, I really thought that. I thought maybe like it just started young doing it.
Yeah.
And I asked a couple of my friends, I was like, how old were you when your parents hit you for the first time? And they're like, what? My parents never hit me. So like there's just like a lot. And
look at the
then
face
I have a sister who has schizophrenia too. So I feel like I wasn't dealt like the best hand of cards when it comes to like family circumstances, which definitely contributed to the decisions that I made when I was older, because if your brain is just like completely like warped from going through so much, like going through certain things can actually change your brain chemistry. And
100%.
Doesn't it sound like she's just repeating a study, like so, like she's repeating something that was told to her? It doesn't sound like she's saying something that she came with by herself. Believe it.
Yeah.
and damage it. And so I don't think that I would have made the decisions that I made if I was in a better state of mind.
It's your family's fault. Did you live with your family throughout your whole adult career? If no, then you could have stopped that shit. You could have chose to change, especially once you found out something was wrong with you. Once you go to therapy with it, you was already in it at a young age. Cool, whatever. We could argue that. But the moment you find out, why did it take you this long to stop? Is it because you're getting older? Is it because you're not as relevant as you are no more? Is it because there's like a million bitches that look just like you, or probably fatter asses or whatever, and have more demands? Could that probably play a role in it? Could it be that you're not getting paid no more? Could it be that you're not even known no more? That only niggas my age will know about you, and that's only because of the heart tattoo and because of the other shit that I was scarred for? Like I don't know you no good light of a porn. Like when I think of my top porn stars, I think Asa Kyra, Monica Santiago, Katie Cummins before she got hella fat. Like it's just like no.
Because I only was in the industry for a short period of time, and that
And you did a massive body of work in that short period of time.
was because I finally was able to like get away from where I was living and like be separated and live my own life and experience the world and kind of like heal, because I wasn't in that constant.
Right. Did you have your father around or no?
No, my parents got divorced when my mom was pregnant with me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then I think you're
Leveraging the idea that your parents screamed at you for crying and that being the instigator in you becoming an adult entertainer is nasty work. But utilizing trauma is a scapegoat within modern
That's why I fuck with MTR.
day times today.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then I think your teenage years is when you kind of started getting into the industry. How did that kind of unfold? Like, what was the steps that you took to even, get into that?
Well,
I am actually curious about that. Well, I guess for a girl it's a lot easier, but for a guy, like, how? Because I'm not gonna front. I wanted to be a porn star because I thought, yo, you just fuck bitches and get paid. What? Sign me up. So I was always interested in it.
yeah, it was kind of like a progressive like ladder effect. I started out working at like a restaurant similar to Hooters when I was 17. And it's not that I don't like know my dad at all. I just don't spend a lot of time with him.
Why is that? Is that because he doesn't make the effort to, or you don't want to be with him? Is it like that bitch that's talking about the bitch that lied about her breakdancing father that he never around in the picture. He didn't support or none of that. And then he came with the receipts and shut that shit up. Why were you and your dad not close? There's so much factors into this shit that Michael J. Porter is not gonna fucking ask.
But he like signed the paper so that I could work there because it's like a restaurant where you have to wear like a sexy outfit and I wasn't even 18.
Right.
So he was in your life. He was relevant in your life to be around at that point in time for him to be the guardian that signs the paper. Because why didn't you go to your mom if he was out the picture and he was with your mom? Why are you with him to the point that he's the one that you got to go to the signing papers for you to work? Huh? Like a lot of the shit just don't. It just sounds like a generic sob story.
Um, so that was like my first like kind of job where men sexualize you and look at you in that way.
No, you presented yourself sexually and then followed suit, again with the scapegoat for her father. It seems as if she no longer has a relationship with her parents, so she continues to throw them under the bus in an odd attempt to gain sympathy. The lack of accountability here is stunning. Like, nah, like it's not like you wanted to go there or dress how you wanted to be dressed.
You know, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna stop trying to pause. But you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of when it was this father and daughter podcast, and the daughter was telling the father that she's gonna start OnlyFans. I think it was on Abba and Preacher's channel, and Abba's like the daughter's fucking they having a grown conversation about it. You know what? That's an interesting video. I'm gonna do a reaction to that. Y'all gonna see that. My fault. Let's continue.
But it's your father who allowed you to do it.
And I never thought that I was like pretty or anything growing up. So I was like, wow, they hired me here. Like I'm pretty enough to work here. And then like guys coming up to me and giving me $20 and being like, you're so hot, here's $20. It was just like, it was so weird to me, but also validating because I didn't have that self-esteem.
Right.
So I kind of went further down the rabbit hole. When I turned 18, I left that job and I went straight to becoming a dancer at a club. And then after that, it was porn.
Right. And I don't want to spend
So around 18, 20, 18, 19, 20. From a Hooters bitch to a stripper to a porn star. I'm guessing her parents wasn't aware of this at that point, so I'm pretty sure they probably wasn't in her life. Because why would your dad agree with to do that shit? Hooters is one thing, but then dancer and everything and she purposely said when I was 18 and I could do all that shit, I moved away and did all that shit, and then porn. And then you're talking about you did it for validation, and then you went into that one industry where guys will look at you nothing other than a sex object, and you wanted love and all that shit. The contradiction is just so fucking insane to me. I want daddy's love, so I went and did the one thing I know my daddy would hate, and would just be a fucking stripper or a porn star. Like what?
too much time kind of in that period of your life, which is a very brief period. I think total, you said you filmed around 8 months total?
Yeah, like 2 4-month stints.
Got you. What I really kind of want to get at is the fact that, you know, in terms of being a porn star, like you had everything that any girl in that industry would want. You know, you got the fame, you got the popularity,
Yeah.
probably were making more money than most girls. And you kind of threw that all away and now are kind of an advocate like against a lot of this stuff. And you speak openly and you're very passionate about kind of what goes on in the dark sides of the porn industry and how it's not everything kind of isn't as it seems. So what kind of brought about your change in perspective?
Just I actually had an experience so I started doing OnlyFans again, and I
See what the fuck I mean? She started doing porn when she was 20. When she was 20, that's what I'm looking up here. Bitch started doing porn when she was doing 20. I mean, when she was 20 and shit. And then now, and then now she's against all of that shit. But yeah, she's doing OnlyFans, which is damn near the same fucking thing. Except you choose who fucks you damn near.
had
But what you're grown now, right? Like you're talking about you learn from your mistakes, but yeah, you're doing it again. It's not like fucking alcohol or drugs where you relapse on that shit. It can be, but the way that you made an account. You know what you were doing. You verified payment and all that. And even past that step, you posed for the pictures. You took that shit. and you posted it, and then you made their account, you put the money value and all of that shit. You did that. It's not like if your friends invite you to a bar, right, and they getting drinks, and then you get hella tempted, and then one of them buy one, you got a bad friend, like, here, have a sip or whatever, and then you start going, or like you having a bad day, you go to alcohol. Like, there's not that many steps from me wanting alcohol and me getting it that could stop me from doing it or make me second thing. Because nobody of your grown up, are you sure you want to buy that? Are you an alcoholic? No. But to make an OnlyFans account, there are steps after steps after steps that you can choose to stop before it goes any further. But you got back into it.
Had an experience last night with another girl that reminded me of how I felt.
I think news that she's on OnlyFans now is surprising to him because he's coming from a position of like, oh, how altruistic of you to get out the industry and to communicate to girls the dangers of the industry. And she's like, well, I'm still on OnlyFans. Sounds like it's only dangers of the industries when she gets pays pennies in comparison to what she's probably making it on the OnlyFans.
Those times,
Exactly.
so it's like I actually couldn't sleep last night because I was just so hurt by this happening. Me and one of my good girlfriends, we went live on OnlyFans last night, and I just like recognized this facial expression that she had, that she looked so uncomfortable. And this was our third time doing it. Like,
Did you end the live and you just now noticed it the third time? Did you end the live when you noticed that she felt how she felt? No, right? Okay.
we're friends, like we like kiss off camera and stuff. So I wasn't expecting it, but I was like, are you okay? Like, are you comfortable? And she's like, oh, I just have anxiety. And then she like went off to the side and started just bawling. And I turned the live off, and it's just such,
Oh, never mind. She turned it off.
like, I feel honestly destroyed that I
Is there proof of this? Can somebody fact check this shit? I mean, if you have to go on her OnlyFans to see it, then never mind. Don't get that bitch no money. But if you could find it, Lee, let me know.
Contributed.
even like had like any part in someone feeling not comfortable with what they were doing. And also, like, she was explaining to me that like she needs to make money for certain things, so she feels like she doesn't say no to all the things that she would want to.
Oh, this is
And
pathetic.
it's probably good that this experience happened with me, because I have been through that so much myself that I was able to give her really good advice, even though it's something that like literally killed me inside to be part of. But
I'm such a sane and selfless.
that's essentially what it was. It's a bunch of really young girls who get into the industry. Like, the younger, the better for them. These girls, like, when I started, I looked like a little kid.
Ma'am, Miss Rhodes, just because you're saying things
You were fucking 20 years old. Shut the fuck up.
sweetly doesn't negate the fact that you talk about the dangers of the industry, but you're still providing a platform for your homegirls around you to cry on live. If you watch her in this interview and you have sympathy for her, you are absolutely bugging. And notice how she's saying things like, I still look like a kid. Again, putting the eye on to men for being monsters that like to look at women that look like kids, and not on herself for being an active participator in the bullshit.
Like, I
And benefiting from it.
looked like a little kid. And that's what they like. That's what sells. And
So is that why you're not doing it no more? Because you're old? Like, you see what I mean, bro?
a lot of girls, even my friends, we don't feel comfortable saying no for some reason. And
Because your thoughts.
because we just, I don't know, it's just like a natural girl thing. I think we're taught as children to like
Be a
be
thought.
obedient, especially to like
But y'all not obedient. Look at all the feminist movement going on right the fuck now. What does that show that y'all obedient? Oh, I'm not fucking man. This man gotta have this much money to see me. I'm the fucking table. A table don't talk. A table is obedient. What weight you put on the table can handle. So y'all not fucking obedient. If you were sought to be obedient, I'm pretty sure the issues you have with your parents wouldn't be there. Cause what parents would beat an obedient child? It just don't fucking make sense. And then you did porn. Where's the obedience in that? I mean, whatever.
men, or like if you're raised
Like, I'm sorry. I just don't. I hate this bullshit victim mentality, bro. Like, I hate that, like, for example, like if some, hear me the fuck out. If somebody was to ever get raped, I blame the rapist. Nobody asks to get raped. Nobody. But then
in a religious
fucking chooses to go to that same spot where they got raped the first time, wearing nothing but a see-through lingerie, like that bitch made wore to somebody's wedding or some shit, or just like see-through thing with no bra and underwear. If somebody chooses to wear that same exact provocative outfit and walk down, and this not somebody, that same person that got raped the first time chooses to wear that same exact outfit and walk down the first fucking and walk down that block again, and she get raped a second time, she has to have some sort of fucking accountability to that shit, cause you knew it was a bad block. You knew you shouldn't have went there, and you damn sure knew you shouldn't have been wearing this if you got raped there wearing something completely different. I'm not saying you're asking to get raped, but accountability has to be a thing. If on the news you're seeing that your neighborhood, every house is every night for the past month, a house gets broken into and is working their way up your block, and the next night is your house is next, and you leave your doors unlocked, nigga, it's your fault you got robbed. If I'm if I'm a blood nigga and somebody tells me this is a Crip neighborhood and I go there wearing all fucking red, throwing up gang signs, throwing up CK and all that other shit, and I get beat up, shot, killed, or dead, bro, I played a role in that shit. Let's be honest, bro. I hate this. Oh, you can't victim blame. Some victims do need to get blamed, cause then you won't fucking see. You won't learn. But continue.
family, like it's always like obey your father, stuff like that. And so it's a really big problem with
Those guys aren't your dad.
girls feeling pressured by like agents who don't necessarily have their best interest in mind, and end up doing a lot of things that really hurt them. Like for me, there are certain scenes that I did that I felt like I didn't say anything to them because it's work and I wanted to be professional. But for example, when the camera would be behind me and you couldn't see my face, I would be gagging or crying because I did not want to be doing it and I didn't want to be feeling the things in my body that I was feeling.
So why did you do it? No one is forcing you to suffer a Mortal Kombat brutality on screen, but you wanted to do it to pad your bank
I'll be back,
account
y'all.
in this emptiness that you feel in your soul. The people around you are not responsible for you saying yes. You are. Mindsets like this continue to push having no accountability for women today, as well as this idea of hashtag believe all women. Because no matter her agency in the matter, she will continue to blame others around her, especially men, for the decisions that she made.
Because I was honestly like disgusted by the person that I was having to shoot with, because you don't get to choose.
Right.
So it's just stuff like that that can be very damaging, and it's not the other people's fault. It's just a huge problem that there's not really anything to set up to protect girls that are young and vulnerable, that don't know how to say no, or don't like have self-respect for themselves yet, or care for themselves or love themselves because they've been through so much and like taught not to.
And I feel like a lot of people, you know, I don't know if you guys receive the backlash like, oh, you guys chose to do this or whatever, but when you're in your teenage years and then you're around these older men, I'm sure they're all...
Let her answer the fucking question, bro. Stop feeding her bullshit. Let her answer. Simple question. Well, okay, so what about those people that say that you might have chosen this life, or that you always had a way out? How do you feel about that? Or what can you say about that? What can you say about that? Open-ended question. Let the bitch answer that shit. This nigga leading... Fuck, bro. This nigga simp-ass, light-skinned motherfucker.
older
Yeah,
that
they're
are...
all in their 40s. They know exactly like how to get you to do what you want, what they
They
want
didn't hold a fucking gun to your head and say, do this shit, bitch, or die.
to make them money.
And then you guys
Bitch, you had money too, though. Don't make it seem like it's just them. Yo, this shit is pissing me off.
don't even really make much, I'm sure.
No, it's pickles. Like, I was the number one
Pickles was obviously enough for you to sign your fucking self into it, or you wouldn't be fucking doing it. You would be working at McDonald's. Like what? Shut the fuck up. You chose to do that shit because it's than any other job that you felt was more respectable. You could have stayed at fucking Hooters. You could have stayed. You could have stayed at strip clubs. You could have stayed dancing. Well, what? Why did you do porno? Because there's more money, right? So shut the fuck up. Why did you do Hooters? Because guys giving me $20 and tell me I'm so beautiful. So shut the fuck up. Guys come in your mouth and say, "Yeah, you look so good." My cum all over your fucking eyeballs. Like shut the fuck up.
Star. And my rate was
You swallowed cum out your ain't. Oh, now I fucking lost my appetite again, bro.
$1,200 for a scene.
Yeah, and you,
Twelve
yeah,
hundred
that's
dollars.
unbelievable.
But obviously, like a lot of these girls are coming from like small towns, like their families probably don't have money. Like I thought $100 at the time was like so much money.
Right.
So getting 1,200
Then why wouldn't you stay at Hooters when you get $20 per nigga that you serve?
was like a big deal. But then I met this boy who worked in, not the guy that I ended up dating for a long time, but I met this other boy that worked in like YouTube and Instagram. And he shared with me that he was getting $15,000 to pose with a Jeep on Instagram.
Right.
And I was like, I'm getting $1,200 for a scene.
Yeah.
This is
You chose it.
not okay.
Yeah, and I think that's
You're getting paid to lay there and get fucked. What do you want? Yeah. So y'all just sit there to get fucked. The enjoyment in it is pleasure. You're not getting beat the fuck up. It's not. You could say no to some crazy ass scenes. You have to agree to everything that happens to you. You're getting paid to have fun, basically. To do something you chose and you was already leading up to. You're getting paid to do that, but it's not enough. Bitch, I wish I get paid to play games, bro. I wish I made $1,200 playing games, bro. Like, what the fuck are you talking about right now? Shut the.
one thing. Like this industry, like it continues to take off. As time goes on, more people are exposed to it at a younger age. It's like the real life addiction for a lot of people. But a lot of these young men that are introduced to it, they don't really know kind of behind the scenes what you guys deal with. They look at these girls on camera
We don't give a fuck.
and think like, oh, they're enjoying it. This is what they like. This is, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that it's important for people like you, especially super successful people like you that decided to leave, like to kind
She didn't decide, but she had no choice. She old. She played out. Nobody want her no more.
of educate young men, and I guess young women now. I saw a stat that a lot of young women
They're not paying her what she want. I bet you she would die for $1,200 right now.
watch too, but just that that's not what it is. It's not as glamorous, and it's not like it's not what it appears to be.
If young men are addicted to watching this, we could say that is fair. But your language is focused on the issue that men are for watching this and how we should know what they go through. But your attention is not focused on her lust for fame and fortune. Because think about it, her tune is this way only because she made $1,200 per scene. But if she was making $120,000 per scene, do you honestly think that she would be speaking out against her former industry? Her being on OnlyFans right now proves that to be a lie.
Yeah.
Thank you, MTR. Dang, that's why I really fuck with this nigga, bro. He don't sugarcoat shit. He watches how he says certain things. Blunt nigga, like yeah, I could tell. Y'all could hear how I talk versus him. He chooses the words to say, but he still says what the fuck he means. I don't have that big of a vocabulary where I could choose the different type of words. So I'm a blunt nigga. I just say whatever the fuck I say. And this nigga Michael Porter Jr., if that is him, bitch, nigga, go go apologize in your next basketball game if you even still fucking playing. I don't fucking keep up with this nigga no more. You a bitch, bro. Fuck, bro. This J. Cole shit got me fucking tight, bro. Bitch, I'll fuck you, light skinned mother.
Yeah, definitely. It was like you could not tell at all that I felt the way that I did in the certain scenes because it's a job, it's acting, and like I had like pre-planned things that I was going to say during the scenes, like facial expressions that I was going to make, things that I was going to do because it's
How
fake.
sad.
It's fake.
Oh,
And
pre-planned.
I also think like the point that you made that the guys don't understand what's going on behind the scenes, and then also that people are like, oh, you
We don't give a fuck. And for those who also talking about some shit like, oh, but you know some of those people, they're forced into doing porn, right? We do not fucking, nobody is going online. Well, maybe some people, if there are some very a very small fucking minute detail where, but it doesn't say like, let's say they're looking at BDSM, some of that shit is genuine, but if let's say they find that 1% video that's a bitch being forced into it, how the fuck would they know? And if they're not going, nobody's typing up forced porn stars getting great, forced porn stars BDSM. Nobody's looking that shit up. And those who are, yeah, some very sick shit. But the majority of porn watchers that go to watch porn, they bust within 30 seconds to a minute and close that shit right the fuck up. The moment I finish coming, I'm done watching porn. I do not continue. That's it. Like, it got his job done. Whew, we out of there. Like, but I'm not looking, I'm not thinking when I'm watching that shit, is this bitch being forced to do this shit? I'm not thinking that. I do not give a fuck. What I give a fuck about is that she got a fat ass. Is it visually is it visually pleasing to my eyes? Does her moans sound good? And does she look attractive? That's it. Can she ride? Maybe. Is there oil in it? Maybe. That's it though. Like, you feel me? Like, I'm not looking for nothing more, nothing less. I'm very direct in my porn searches.
knew what you got into and like
Don't
you
need
get
to.
backlash for talking out about it. I think it's because men like consuming porn and they don't want to feel guilty
Right.
for consuming it, and so they don't want to hear that I felt the way that I felt, and
So leave.
they refuse to believe that I'm not like a giant whore that wants
But you are.
to get like by like a bunch of big.
You're doing OnlyFans now. You're fucking goofy, gorge. Like, what, bro?
Right.
Like, I'm the biggest prude in real life.
It's not about refusing to believe. It's that men don't care. Why should we care?
What did I say? If y'all thought I was just tripping, we don't give a fuck.
Who are you? You're not important. Why would I need to know your life story or give a shit about you being well compensated for doing an activity that the majority of people on this planet do for free? The expectation for men to want to know or care about these things, and if not, then shame on man, is ridiculous. I don't give a shit how this banana made it from some tree in Central America into the grocery store. I don't care. I just care that it's ripe.
But how has being a mother kind of changed your life and changed your perspective? Do you feel like
Oh my god, she's a fucking mother. I just looked up that video when I started watching this shit. Because I paused it all the time. Y'all gonna see like little cuts. When I got called down, and I came back and did some research, and that video that scarred me is still on the fucking internet. It was this easy to find. With thousands of more videos. Oh, she got a child. Change your fucking name. Change your name for the well-being of that child. Oh my god.
has it helped you?
It's kind of like you win some and you lose some, you know. My pregnancy caused a lot of like health issues that I finally like have gotten under control, and like sort of those also diminished my mental health, like probably for the past 2 years.
My body's not bodying no more, so I can't do porn.
Until recently, I was in like the worst mental health state that I'd ever been in. However, because I grew up in a house with a sister who was extremely mentally ill, and it was like very toxic for me, no matter what, I always make sure to never let my son see that, and to always make sure that whether I'm depressed and stuck in
And it's a son. It's a boy. God knows what the fuck they
bed,
doing, cause
that he has the best nanny taking him to go and do activities if I can't do that with him.
By the way, mind you, she's had her son up on podcasts with her.
Take a while to make you
I didn't want the things that I go through to affect him.
Right.
And I really don't think that they do, because I'm super careful about it. But sorry, what was the original question?
No, I was just curious how just being a mother like has just changed your life or perspective.
See, she don't even fucking remember the question, just rambling. I bet you after this podcast, if he like, yo, you wanna fuck? She could be like, okay.
Well, recently, so I started taking medication, like going to therapy, and the relationship that I have with being a mother is just so great now. Like, I really look at him and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like so lucky to have you.
Yeah.
Like, I just really, really enjoying it. Actually, recently,
She's not answering the question because having a son has not changed anything about her perspective. That's why she's having such a difficult time. That's why she's forgetting the question. That's why she's not answering the question.
because he usually goes to school, and like I haven't even been wanting to send him to school lately because I'm like, I need to spend all the time with you.
Yeah. Is the dad like around for real, or like is it just you, or how's that going?
Just me. He's only met his dad one time.
As a dad, I'm fighting for that kid. You're not raising my kid. Your Honor, I have enough evidence. What is it? Pornhub.com. Sir, this is no, Your Honor, Your Honor. She is a porn star. Look up Pornhub.com and you tell me that woman is fit to raise my baby. Well, sir, you put the baby in. Your Honor, Your Honor, Your Honor. She's a porn star, Your Honor. Did you see the videos of her sucking dick, Your Honor? Can you blame me, Your Honor? Well, you're right then. Why she ain't fat? Wait, them heart tattoo, them Your Honor. So you know what I'm talking about, Your Honor. Judgment for the judgment for the plaintiff. The baby, go to daddy, ma'am. You need God, but ma'am, what that mouth do those?
And after that, like, the dad wasn't super nice about it. So I was just like, I'm not
Embarrassed.
trying this with you anymore. Like,
One of my last questions for you is, like, you talk about how it's been a process to kind of find an identity like outside of the industry and whatever. And your real name's actually not Lana, it's Amara, correct?
yeah, Amara.
So if you kind of like have
Well, now you should have. He fucked it up for you. Now he fucked it up for you. Cause now anybody that sees you and you're like, oh, my name is Amaro, you're like, bitch, little Lana Rhodes. No, that's not me, wrong. And they look that up and they gonna remember this video. They gonna find your real name and they gonna see the heart tattoos on your butt cheeks. Oh, it's up, it's up.
have you ever considered just going and leaving the Lana Rhodes like behind and going by your real name and
She can't, bitch. It's impossible.
You're gonna make
like,
money.
or is I just wondered, like, I thought your real name was Lana, and then I was
Yeah.
doing
No,
some
sometimes I think my real name is Lana.
I was doing some research
Cause it is.
before this podcast, and it was like Amara Maple, and I was like, huh, like, and
All
then
my friends call me Lana.
really,
Yeah.
so you just that's just it now.
It might be like going back to like the BPD thing, like you really don't have like a sense of identity. So I've never really resonated with like having a name. Like even when I was a dancer, I had Farah as my name. And all my friends called me that I knew from the club. Or Am.
Cause maybe you're a little embarrassed by it. You don't want it to tie back to you. But hey, what the fuck do I know, Your Honor? I plead the fifth.
Amara, which is what my family calls me. I think like when I have boyfriends, like sometimes we like switch on and off from using Amara or Lana.
She's a master at not answering questions. The question is would you move away from your name of Lana? Yes or no? Why or why not? But instead, it's just this roundabout answer about her boyfriends calling her different things and her friends calling her different names and her BPD, no association. The fact is that she loves this identity. It's what rose her into fame and stardom. And her lust for attention might be diminished or no longer satiated if she was to step away from that name. And let's not forget the money.
But I really don't notice. And sometimes I actually do think that my name is Lana.
Huh, that's interesting.
You guys let me know, in this entire podcast, did she ever take accountability for anything that has happened to her?
No, bro. Like I said all I had to, man. This video is already as long as it shouldn't be. I really gotta get better into narrowing my videos down to my point like right now, man. So I'm gonna end it here, y'all. Thank you for watching. Have a good time. Love y'all. Bye, dude.